Well, let's start a podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Small Brain Small Talk podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Cebulonius Funk. Hi, I'm Chris.
Hello.
You want to start just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I go by Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a little indie musician from New Jersey. Started making shit out in New York City when I was in college. I make like weird wiggly kind of stuff with interesting synthesizers and whatever. Talk about my life and its ups and downs, and apparently a bunch of people like to hear that. So yeah, it's been a really cool ride. So for the last 2.5-ish years, I've been doing my thing, and it's been growing and going pretty well. So that's what I'm up to. So thanks for having me.
Can I ask my only question to start off with?
Pop off, King.
What's up with the pineapple soda thing?
Yeah, that one?
No. So I read your Instagram bio, and you said you're a pineapple soda enthusiast. Why do you like it?
Well, there's an album.
Okay, why do I like it? I mean, well, for starters, yeah, it's kind of made me like money and stuff being a fan of it.
That is fair.
That's like a great fucking start to like liking most things. It's like wow, that's a thing that made me passive income. That kind of slaps. Like I can afford food now. And it's a self-feeding cycle because now I just get more pineapple sodas. So, it's a vicious cycle of crime.
It pays for itself.
Yeah, but the reason that I became an enthusiast of it, that it kind of leads into the story about how I made that song and like how I started making music in general. It was my freshman year of college, where I do the wiggly. I went to New York University, class of 2020. That didn't age fucking well, but I graduated early, so I dodged the bullet with the literal fucking plague that kind of hit us. But in 2016, things were going pretty well. I was new to the city. I've lived in the suburbs of New Jersey like my whole life, pretty small town Guido. So I get there, I'm starting to make friends and stuff. And it was, it was tough at that time. I was missing this one girl that I had been dating for quite some time. It was a bit of a, shaky start, but it was fun, like most college experiences are. Then the election hit, and there was a certain someone that was pretty polarizing. And a lot of the people I knew were kind of like fighting in ways that I don't think most freshmen in college would that quickly into like their time. So it became a very stressful time for a lot of people. It just made me like really feel homesick for the first time. I was still missing that girl, and I just felt like, God, I feel like garbage. It was like this little sandcastle I just like built up for myself, kind of just got fucking nay-nayed by a Cheeto. And it's like, which is weirdly enough like a thing that you could say, and it's kind of a good visual aid.
Fucking suplexed.
So like one day I was like, fuck this. I need to get away from like all the talks about politics for a second. I need to breathe. It's like, so I throw on these lime green beats. They were lime green because like the weirder, stupider looking colors are cheaper. And I was like, I walk out, and if you know that area of New York City, it's Washington Square Park, and then this little brick road. It's like hasn't been touched since like the 1800s, called the Washington.
I actually know where you're talking about. I have family in New York.
I lived right next to it. Oh, cool! Just got a message from someone. Turn that off. But yeah, no, I love the Muse. It was literally right next to my dorm, which was Weinstein Hall. So I walk down there, and I'm blasting, I think like Earth, Wind, and Fire or something. I'm like, okay, I can get away. I can just kind of decompress, enjoy the city at night. It's really nice. And you just hear this in my left headphone, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I take my headphones off, and there's a fucking helicopter going right where I'm about to walk onto, and I'm like, this is probably going to be bad, but okay. So like I walk out to Fifth Avenue and accidentally stumbled right into the front line of the largest anti-Trump protest in the entire city. While I'm trying to escape, like thinking about anything going on because everybody's arguing. Like this was such an intense ass time to be a college freshman with very little understanding of fucking politics, you dig? And I was like, oh my God, you know what? This is pretty historic. I'm gonna walk with it for a bit. Oh, I do. So there were, if you know the song, people rushing picket signs, and I was wondering why you could find the time to hate me if everybody was busy hating everybody else. Like that's very, very, I really try and ground my music in like shit that's happened to me. And that was a really cool moment for me. I was watching everybody kind of like unified in like righteous anger and shit. And I was like, this is really powerful. Like that, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life. And I kept walking with it, like seeing everybody kind of like in support of one another, be like, "Fuck this dude," and I was like, "Yeah, fuck that dude." Like, we get to about the new school, which is on 14th Street, and there's a little CVS in there, and I'm like, okay, kind of tired of walking with this, but that was amazing, like to experience, just be in that moment. You know, cop cars going off, everybody like the helicopters going over, people chanting, and I go in the CVS, and I'm looking for something. And I'm like, I'm thirsty. Normally, I get a Dr. Pepper. Was a Dr. Pepper enthusiast. Was the lock screen on my phone. Today was a time for change. You know what I'm saying? And so I go back there, and lo and behold, I have never seen a pineapple Fanta before. I saw it, and I'm like, they make pineapple soda. That's kind of neat. I've never tried it before. My favorite's Doritos, which is a hot take, but I tried the pineapple Fanta. I take it out. It was like $1.06, and I was like, word. So, you know, I grab it and I go back outside. You know, I'm walking towards Union Square now, where there's another protest, and I crack open this thing and I take a swig of it, and I'm watching everything going on. I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. And I start like laughing at myself. I'm like, this is honestly the best thing that's happened to me all week. That's when it clicked. I was like, I need to make a song about this.
Holy shit, you need to make a movie about this. It's quite the story.
Yeah, I know. I tend to fucking ramble. Maybe not good for podcasts, but I don't know. Like,
rambling's good
that's
for
the story.
podcasts.
It's good for our
It was
podcast.
a very entertaining story.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So that's how I wrote that. I sat on it for a year because I thought it was hot ass water. And then my homie next to me, who was on Pop Team Pathetic with me, JR. Yeah, he's just been here the whole time. Surprise. Eating Burger King. He heard it on my laptop one day, and he was like, "You need to make this a thing." I was like, "Nah, dude, it's not good." And he was like, "Hold on." And within an hour, he makes this amazing design that becomes the album art of the thing. And he goes, "If you don't drop this tonight, I'm going to charge you $150 like I normally do for graphic design." I was like, well, I can't argue with that shit. Fuck it, why not? And the rest was history. Changed my life. So, and now I'm on podcasts and shit. So that's kind of neat. The music brought me here. So, a pineapple soda enthusiast.
Yeah, that was the first thing I read in your bio, and I'm like, wait, what?
Our local pineapple soda enthusiast here.
Yeah,
Well, that's
man, you
pretty
know,
cool.
investigative journalism, man. Look at you guys. Paid off.
I got catching up to do.
You do, Butch.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have a question.
Good.
So do you like pineapple on your pizza too?
Okay, this is a great question because as a Guido from New Jersey, like all the kids that came to New York City from like fucking like Los Angeles or something like that, like they looked to me to be like a guide for this shit. They looked for me to be like, is this like the cultural taboo or some shit? I'm fucking fine with pineapple on pizza, yo. That shit's gas.
See?
It's good. It's like it's not what I normally order, but if I'm feeling it, I'm like, it shouldn't work. So I get why people are turned off by it. It's like fruit on cheese on like tomato. It sounds like a really like nasty ass salad, and then you go like,
Sounds
okay,
like a war crime.
it does sound like a war. Like honestly, I agreed with a lot of people at first. I was like, okay, pineapple on pizza sounds fucking disgusting. But it's not the grossest thing that's ever been put on a pizza either. Did you know, like in certain like countries, they put like bananas and mayonnaise on pizza?
Oh yeah.
They did that in Argentina. Oh my god, ew.
Plantain on.
Well, plantain sounds fine because that's like a potato-y kind of thing.
Yeah, but it was still like.
Oh, kind of sweet.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be a certain type of sweet, and because like I think pineapple's like so acidic, it works with tomatoes well. It's like if you grew up in an Italian household, you know they actually put carrots in the tomato sauce to make it a little sweeter, which we call gravy, by the way. Because there's meat in the sauce, so it's not sauce. It's gravy.
Write that down.
Yeah, definitely do, because that one Italian kid besides me is gonna be like, "Mamma mia!" Like Georgina, check this out. It's a beautiful, like you know. Like, Georgina, he comes in like, "What's the matter?"
Hey.
No. So yeah, pineapple on pizza is actually kind of gas, and a lot of people look at me sideways because they're like, "You've disgraced our culture," and I'm like, "I don't fucking care. It's a cool remix."
Just on a family.
It's I did, yeah, pretty much. It's like it's
grilled pineapple is gas. I won't deny that.
That's true. With cinnamon on it and stuff, that's really good.
Yeah, like just grilled pineapple is really good. But if someone's like, choose a pizza, like I'm never gonna like my go-to is never gonna be pineapple on pizza. But if someone's like, I ordered a pizza, I have some leftovers in the fridge. Do you want some? And they're like, it's pineapple. I'd be like, sure, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you got to be in like a certain mood for it. You know, it's kind of like the same thing with like Domino's versus pizza. There is a vibe when you want Domino's. Normally, you're stupid drunk, but
funny you mentioned that.
Pizza. Okay, there's a story here because I want to hear it.
No, it's literally that exact scenario last night. I got back from a party and I was the only drunk person. So I was at a party last night and I got back and everyone in my room, there's like 4 people in my room and they're all sober, just watching a movie. And I just come in just plastered and they ordered a pizza. I'm like, I'm so fucking hungry. They're like, we have pizza. And I just grabbed like 4 slices and threw them all in the microwave without a plate or anything at the same time and just closed it and just clicked a button and it by some miracle started running. And then it just sat there. And then it eventually finished, and I just pulled it all out, and just like I didn't eat it one at a time. I just had this like big stack of like 4 slices of pizza, and I just like ate it all. I'm like, yeah, Domino's. We love Domino's. And then in their recollection, I said, we love Domino's right when I had my final bite, and then I just passed out.
Did you just unhinge your jaw like Shaggy?
Yeah. Where you like just swallowed it whole. There was a triangle shape. There was just a triangle shaped bulge in my neck. I just swallowed it whole. just a triangle shape in my throat as it went down.
Like you try and put more food in there and it's like backed up. You need a plunger.
Yeah. I had a triangle shit in the morning. My body didn't even digest it. It just came out like it came in.
That is like legit like square peg and round hole that just does not mix well.
Oh yeah. But yeah.
Rest in peace to your
long story short, Domino's gas when you're drunk.
Yeah, it is. It's like it tastes objectively better.
But especially
yes and no.
Especially here, because as a student, you get 50% off if you put in the code BISON through Domino's.
Really?
We didn't have that at NYU. They were like, "This is
tip for NDSU students."
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's you.
That is
Write that
me.
down.
Y'all gotta have like some like this no offense, like NSU, the Bison. That's what state?
North Dakota.
NDSU, North Dakota.
North Dakota. Okay, well yeah, y'all gotta get some real pizza in you though every now and then. Y'all gotta come out here. Like we make the best pizza, we make the best bagels. No
Brendan, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, I bought a plane ticket. I'm flying halfway across the country.
Going a plane, yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah, North Dakota's been pretty harsh with COVID too. I hope y'all are staying safe. By the way, I've heard that it's like pretty bad.
I already got it, so I can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You already.
Me too.
Pretty much. You almost.
Yeah.
My grandparents got it. I was really nervous. My older brother's like hella high risk, and it's like so we've been locked down like Fort Knox in here. So that's why I built the studio down in the basement so I could help take care of him. I moved out of New York. I left Brooklyn for this. So hope everybody
just pointed at him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? Now's a pretty terrible time. I need to feel worse. Let me move into my parents' basement.
Man, my life's pretty shit. Let me move into my parents' basement.
But I did it, like because I really care about them, and it's like taking care of my older bro. So it's like being home and being able to help has been nice. Plus, I can work remote.
Rick, you hear that?
I
You
hear
take
it,
care
I
of
hear
your
it.
older brother.
As opposed to what? What have I been doing?
Them kids.
Don't act like you push me down the stairs constantly. What are
Excuse me.
He'll get lucky.
Oh, you have a broken
I'm learning
back?
so much.
Where?
You don't have a broken back anymore. It's healed. You just have
Anymore?
A hole, you just have a hole in your back right now.
Oh shit! I'm learning so much. It's like a nature documentary.
I can't bend my thumbs.
Oh yeah, Butch has this weird talent where he can't bend his thumb.
That's not a talent.
Or
That's
the-
a disorder.
No, it's a talent.
Sure. Hey, I have this really cool talent where my body can't do something literally everyone else can.
That's like saying that people who are double jointed say that that's a talent.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
That's at least advantageous. That's like, look, it's something I can do that you can't. Mine's like, look, it's something I can't to do that you can. Like that's like saying me being colorblind is a talent.
It is.
It's like, look, no.
You see
Look,
the
I can make
world.
friends
You see the
disappear.
world differently.
Is bad hearing a talent then?
What?
Yeah, you hear the world differently, as in you
Exactly.
don't.
Eyesight, is that a talent?
Being blind is a talent. Being able
I'm
to
pretty
function
talented,
while
man.
you can't see, that's a talent.
Dude, I am so
That's
talented
true.
then. Wow, I got a lot going for me.
Want to know a weird thing that I learned about myself? Speaking of like like genetic things like that.
So
Yeah.
one time I was in class and, it was my junior year and we were talking about like icebreakers and stuff. It was like the first day of class. So I don't know any of these fucking people. And they were like, okay, just say like where you're from, what you're studying, and
Blood type.
one interesting fact about you. Yeah, like blood type. So it gets to me and I'm like, hi, my name's, Chris. I'm from New Jersey. I'm studying music business in case my dreams fail. And I am mildly allergic to chocolate. And everybody's like, what? And I'm like, because this is my like classic icebreaker. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I am mildly allergic to chocolate. I can eat it, but it makes me sneeze. Every time.
Oh,
To
really?
the point where some friends would give me chocolate and like I would forget about it and I'd eat it and they'd be like, bless you. And I'd be like, what? Oh, and I would just start going. And out of nowhere, this girl in the back, I'm sure she meant well. She wanted to be a friend or something. I don't know. Bad call. Just shouts out, that means you're like part Neanderthal, right? Under any other circumstance, I'd be like, wow, that's really interesting. But like, when that's your fucking icebreaker, everybody's gonna remember you as the funny monkey man. It's like I turned around to her and I'm like, are you fucking? Like, I was like, are you fucking for real? And like everybody just started laughing. I was like, no offense, but like, really? Like, you got to tell me that now? It's Tuesday morning. I'm like trying to go to bed already. It's like, so yeah, I found out I'm part Neanderthal from that. Which makes a lot of sense. I do like banging sticks with rocks, and I am pretty hairy.
Yeah,
join the club.
Your Twitter, yeah, it's just your Tinder. It's like I like banging sticks and rock together, and sometimes I make fire. Come to my cave anytime.
Sounds like Gavin.
Yes. And Diego, he's
Yeah,
happy.
actually just speaks grunts in the podcast. We just have subtitles translating what he's trying to say.
So Gavin is one of the people who isn't here right now.
All
Gavin
right,
and
cool.
Sam.
Yeah, I was wondering about the lore of this, like what the backstory was.
My profile picture, if you look at it, that is Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin's kind of here.
I wanted him
Really
here in
in
spirit.
spirit,
Yeah.
That's
Here's
such a
the thing.
great picture.
That's an unedited picture, by the way. That just happened.
Yeah,
Oh, really? He was like just like walking like that, like fucking Popeye the Sailor Man.
He just was
it just
wide
got-
one
It
day.
just got really wide for some reason.
Yeah, dude, one can of spinach will do that to you, man. You got to be careful with that shit.
He's just the definition of built different.
Built
Yeah.
this.
I have an
That homie's
actual
built Ford
question.
tough. What are you talking about? Oh my god! Shout out to Gavin.
Diego, before you go on with your question, I have one more question.
Mhm.
So after pineapple soda became like this big hit, what was your reaction when that happened?
So it was weird because it happened in stages. Like the first stage was it popping off on like SoundCloud. Like the first day, 150 plays. I was like, this is expected.
Neat.
I was like, I was like really being quiet about it. All my friends were like, dude, this is great. And I was like, oh, they're just being my friends. They're being supportive. And that meant a lot. And I'm thankful that I have friends that dig my music and then people that push me like Jay. The second day it hits 1,000 and I was like, this is huge. Like, wow, like 1,000 plays. Like I can't fathom that. And then the third day, it was like a movie. Like I wake up and I look at my phone and it hit 10,000 on SoundCloud in the night, and I was like,
Whoa.
and I like ran like fucking like the Charlie from the Willy Wonka. I like ran downstairs. I was like, Mom! Like the first thing I did, it was on winter break, so I was like, I gotta tell my mommy about this so she can hang this bitch up on the
She'll
fridge.
finally love me.
Yeah, it's like. Well, then again, they were the ones pushing me to do the music thing, which is like, I was like, wow, supportive
Parenting.
parents, really cool. Your kids to do cool shit for real. So that was the first time. So then after that, I kind of felt like, oh, I need to like start building this. Like, okay, this is an actual opportunity. Like people like this clearly. Like I'm very thankful for it. So I posted it on my Instagram. And then I uploaded it to Spotify that March. And it kind of just sat in like relative obscurity in Spotify that March through like the spring, through a whole year pretty much in 2018. It didn't really pop off on Spotify until 2019 when it hit Discover Weekly. It just like was one day the algorithm was like, oh, he's worked with Frank FC now. He's probably cool. Put him on Discover Weekly. Fuck it. Let the little kid have his fun. And yeah, that morning I woke up and I was in New York. I was at my job. I just look and it's like 1,000 people are listening to you right now. And my jaw dropped and I was like, oh boy, here we go. And yeah, from there it hit 100K. Last year it ended at like 220 20, and then this year it's at almost 1 million, which is kind of mind blowing. So it's kind of happened in weird stages where it'll just like randomly, like the gods at Spotify are like, yes, we'll give him a couple more microcents. Yes. Do your fucking make your funny monkey dance. Make the funny monkey boy dance. Did you hear he's allergic to chocolate?
Allow him to buy a stick of butter.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, my other tracks are starting to take off too, and I'm very thankful that people just, they resonate with it, because, like, I've never really measured it in numbers. Like, I got an email from a girl, like, the first day Pineapple was out, and she was like, hey, I felt the exact same way. Like, I was, like, kind of feeling like shit, and, like, I didn't have much to offer people. So, like, hearing somebody else go through that resonated with me. That one email is really, like, the moment where I was like, hey, if this ends tomorrow, I'll be happy. Because, it did its job. It made a difference to someone. And, it brought me here. So, I'm hella fucking thankful for everything that's happened, and I'm glad people like the music, because there's more coming. Not stopping anytime soon. Like,
all this talk of music, Chris, where would I be able to find you if I wanted to listen to some of your music?
Zowie, I'm glad you randomly asked that, Butch, funny Butch man. You can go on www.spotify.com, and you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. My Bandcamp exists. No one supports me like that. But YouTube, my music videos are up there. I have 1 or 2 for Ankle Socks. I'm making a Pineapple Soda music video, fucking finally. There's going to be a website coming up soon where you can buy merch. So,
nice.
Making merch, that's pretty weird. My face is on a shirt. White pogs. Yeah, dude, totally pod. I guess I am your little pod champ. What can I say?
Shout out to the meme page if they listen to this.
What?
I said shout out to the meme page if they listen to this.
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Chris Meme. That was a weird experience. My fans were just like, we're gonna make a bunch of weird cursed ass images of Chris's like old Instagram posts, and they just started doing. They followed me randomly, and I was like, I am Chris Meme. I was like, I thought it was a joke. I was like, all right, like Kev from Carriage Lane, another band I distribute. Did they make this shit? And I went on there and I'm like, okay, these are actually kind of funny in like a really uncomfortable way. I fucked with this. And it turned out to just be a couple fans. There was like one kid from Michigan and one kid from Ohio, and they were just like, yeah, we decided to make a meme page. We met through like interacting with you on like this Instagram live thing I've started doing at midnight. Like boredom. I was like, yeah, I want to just interact with people, get to know the people who listen to the music. So I started going live on Instagram, and it's like pretty shitty, but they're fun. It's like
how often?
So they made a meme page.
The Instagram live.
Every now and then, like I never wanted it to be like a series or something, even though I like have a name for it and everything. Mm-hmm. Burning the midnight oil. It's like I literally do it at night on purpose, because when I try doing them in the day, there's like just enough people show up where like I can't really interact with everybody. There's just comment. So I do them at like 1 a.m. when I'm just like, I wonder who the fuck's up. Sometimes a big artist comes on, like this guy I'm featuring with named Valentine, who got pretty big on TikTok, with his music, 5 mil on one of his songs, Pink and Blue. So shout outs to Val. He's an amazing artist. And like sometimes he'll show up and we do an interview and like a bunch of people show up. Or sometimes Justin from Super Mega, who's a good friend of mine now. Mm-hmm. We made Jinbei together. He'll show up every now. That was funny. He showed up the first time.
Was. Yeah. I didn't realize that was Justin who did Jinbei with you.
Yeah, that's Nothing But Lag, man. That's Justin from Super Mega. He's awesome. Me and Frank introduced him to me. Frank has been like a personal hero of mine my whole life, might I add. Like he's the one that made me realize I could make music on my computer when I was in high school. I used to watch his videos all the time, Frank JFC. But he introduced me to Justin when I was in LA. He was like, "You should meet Justin," and I was like, "Should I meet Justin?" Like I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't want you to like force that. So we FaceTimed him because he lives in like middle America. He's very discreet about like getting his personal info out. So I stick to that rule. Like I'm not gonna tell nobody where he's at. But yeah, but Justin's a good boy. He's a beautiful boy, and we're homies. So shouts out to Nothing But Lag as well.
Yeah, it was actually it was Justin where I found you. I think he went onto one of your midnight oils, and I got that notification. Yeah. And that was the first song I heard. Actually, was Pineapple Soda 2, the sequel.
Oh yeah, we leaked that on that track. Shit, I'm really bad. That's one thing that I'm really bad at being an artist. I'm supposed to be like brooding and mysterious and like take fisheye angle like Instagram pictures of me in like some fire fit. I'm not good at that. I'm very fucking transparent and like I make myself boring. Like I'm like, because everybody just knows everything about me. I'm very open with this shit. So like, I literally did a thing with Spotify Wrapped. I was like, oh, this will be a cool way to like see where the fans are, and it actually got me a bunch of followers. I was like, yo, put this in your top, like, put a story out, tag me if you're in my top 5, or if I'm in your top 5, and I'll send you a demo. And it worked. It got like me like a 30 new followers that I didn't know were listening to my music and were in like my top 0.1%. And, I sent them a bunch of demos. Did not send them Pineapple 2. That was the only time I've ever leaked that was on That Midnight Oil with Justin. But I made a sequel as like a total fucking meme, and it actually turned into something a bit more serious. Where it's like, I was like, okay, Pineapple Soda is where I was then. The Pineapple Soda 2 is where I am now. And it's kind of like almost like a retrospective. And I don't know. It was like a cool idea. I was like, I don't want to make a sequel song because that's just like so scummy. Then everybody's like, oh, Pineapple Soda 2? And I'm like, fuck you, fine. Like, I'll do it.
Just call it Pineapple Soda also, and then it's not a sequel.
Oh, it is Pineapple Soda TOO if I hint
there
at
you
what
go.
the lyrics
There you
are
go.
about. Yeah, so it's the sequel, but it's not necessarily the sequel. It's probably going to be the last track on my upcoming record. It just ends it well. It's a good finisher track. It's like the nice RKO to the fucking neck. It's like
The callback.
but of love. It's like the RKO
in the
to
morning.
the neck of love.
It's a nice sleeper hold.
Yeah, this is where it's like I like like I'm giving you a firm hug and then I just fucking nut tap you really hard. Like and then I kiss you. I kiss you and then you just walk away and you're like I feel so many things at once.
Conflicted.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're loved. At the end of the
more.
album.
That's what I do to Gavin every time I see him.
Exactly.
Full
Yeah, the hug to the nut tap to the kiss combo.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Hasn't failed you once.
Nope.
Yeah, dude, not once, not twice, maybe 6 times. I don't know.
I have a weird question. Well, it's not really weird now.
Shoot.
So your first EP on SoundCloud, The Disappointing Tape.
Yeah.
When I first listened to it, I had a very Frank Ocean vibe.
Oh.
Was that something that you like put thought into, or it just happened to have the same like vibe that his music does?
I think that just kind of happened by accident. Like when I first started making it, I was like, okay, yeah, there were definitely clear influences, but I got a lot more influences from people like Zach Valier. If you've ever listened to him with his album Little World, it's a little bit more obscure. What's it called? Definitely Frank was somebody I was listening to while writing that. The Disappointing Tape was what it was because I was literally like, I am only going to disappoint people from here on in because I have no other songs ready. So because I was like, so I panicked and like put together these beats that I was working on and I put it out as like kind of like a pairing thing. And they did pretty well. And I still love Penny Loafer Blues off that. I'm definitely going to re-record that and like release it as a single on Spotify. But what's it called? Yeah, I guess Frank Ocean. That's an interesting thing that I never realized like people might hear in my music. Because I feel like when I think of Frank Ocean, I think of like yeah, he very attractive man, but like sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and it's like like I don't see myself and the image I put into my music as sexy, not by any means. I mean, on the album cover of that too. I'm in a bathtub with a windbreaker on and a backwards facing golf wang cap. Like, hello. Like, I'm like hot. Like, not exactly the baddie that people talk about. Like I'm not gonna show up on a Barstool Smoke show anytime soon. But yeah, that's kind of cool because there is a lot of like R&B influence on that one. There's a lot of crooning. There's a lot of depth and empty space in that record. And record EP or demo tape. And yeah, I'm kind of returning to that kind of sound on this next thing. Mudgy, which was my debut kind of like project on Spotify, was like me taking my sound 10 ways and seeing which one stuck and going, okay, so I think people might like that and I like making it. So it's a win-win. So now this next record that I'm working on, which I'm going to be releasing a lot of singles for, you probably won't see the record in full for a while. I'm really focusing on singles right now. Because they just kind of liberate me from being like high concept, big brain type shit. Just let me do what I want to do because it's fun. But I'm kind of returning to those sounds that I was exploring on Disappointing Tape and Pineapple Soda. So like more like wonky, kind of synth funky neo soul. That's kind of what I like to do. So if that's the best way I can categorize it. It kind of goes all over the place still, but I'll show you guys some demos. See, I'm really bad at keeping shit secret. I'll show you guys demos after this.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's my next 3 years for you.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I've got a question here.
Fine, whatever. Jeez, it's not like you talk to him all the time.
Yeah, screed.
You send me the demo. I'm not even gonna try with that one. What's your favorite Pokemon, Chris?
It's my favorite Pokemon's probably Snorlax. But I was like, when I was writing a song, like I was like, I didn't know what the song was turning into, and it was really heavy. So I actually debated on calling it Snorlax, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to change the name of. This is an interesting music law thing I know. You can mention like trademark names in a song. That's totally legal. But if you put the title of the song as the name of a trademarked thing or character, you can get sued because you're profiting off of the name. So I'm going to change it to the national dex number of Regigigas, which I think is 468 off my dome. 90% of my childhood brain was wasted on weird Pokemon knowledge. Like, it really helps me with Pokecord in Discord chats, actually. I nay everybody when they have to guess the name.
Luke would like to meet you. We have a friend named Luke who is very into Pokemon.
I love Pokemon, man. That's my shit. I grew up on that, and it's like I have not stopped. I've actually stopped playing for a minute. I want to get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because I have a 3DS lying around somewhere.
Diego sucks.
Whoa.
I'll have you know that I didn't actually grow up with Pokemon. I wasn't into it as a kid, and so I was really introduced to it because we started a Pixelmon server. And I was like, we started by playing.
We played. I don't know.
Just Pokemon. It was like a Flash Pokemon online that it was just like you get 6 random Pokemon and you fight one of your friends.
That's kind of cool as shit.
Yeah, and I just got into it, and so I picked up Pixelmon. I picked up Pokemon Go. Rick's got a 3DS with Pokemon XY, and so I'm starting to play through that now, and I am getting into it, and I like it a lot.
Dude, Pokemon's dope. It like scratches a weird part of your brain where it's like it feels like you're discovering something constantly. Like there's always like a reward, even if you're just in it to see the pretty little little monster guys dance around. Going, it's like that shit's fucking cool. It's like discovering a new Pokemon like gets you fucking going, man. It's like I don't know, like when you see a legendary for the first time, you're like, oh shit, like. There's something exciting about that like no other game. It makes me bang on my 3DS with rocks. That's why I can't fucking play it anymore.
The monkey in all of us starts to
funny animal named Chris. It's like hey, if you're still listening, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, we have a monkey segment every episode.
This episode is going a lot better than the normal ones. Let's just say that.
it's a lot more tired.
Thumbs.
We have less people.
Yeah, no.
And
really?
less chaotic people.
And
There's
less
a lot of
Gavin.
people.
Yes,
Yeah, there's usually like 8 people here.
There's 8 or 9 people usually on an episode.
Holy shit!
We fill up quick.
It is very chaotic normally.
I wish that my crew was like that dedicated to making a podcast or something work. We're actually working on that right now. Like all the artists I distribute, they're all my friends from home, and we're trying to organize into a little collective to do music videos, singles together. We might do vlogs and stuff. So good on y'all, for real. Even if it's chaotic, professional and professionalism. That's going to be our motto. So
it's a good one. We might need to steal that from you.
Oh, please do.
Again, write that down.
Right, yeah, Ricky, write this down.
But,
this man's an adult. He's functioning. We need to know this stuff.
But yeah, about that single though, like Regigigas is my favorite legendary Pokemon because Diamond and Pearl was like the shit, bro. Like that's the best Pokemon game, hands down.
Oh yeah.
And like having all 3 of the Regis to like get this secret like 4th one was so cool because like Sapphire was my favorite, and then I transferred my Regis and I got Regigigas, and I was like, whoa! And like he's this giant dude who like his whole dex entry, from what I remember, is that he tows continents. He moves continents. He's like a Colossus that like pushes them, like Shadow of the Colossus. And I'm like, that's such a cool like concept. He's like this dude that like literally like moves entire land masses. So
ball.
yeah, pretty much. Whatever that noise was, exactly.
It's like, wow, he's a god. Let's give it to the 12-year-old.
Yeah, dude, no, that shit always made me laugh too. Like, you can literally catch like Pokey Jesus in and like it's going like this.
Jesus.
You can catch Pokey Jesus and make him fight. Like, imagine just being like some random fucking rat, and all of a sudden this like 12-year-old runs up to you and it's like, take this, Jesus, and then just like you just get like smited.
Yeah, but it don't look like Jesus too. It's like a 14-foot mega horse with a golden arch on its back, and you're like, oh my god, like, like it's like, why are you pulling this out in the Walmart parking lot? It's like,
yeah, it's like, you into Pokemon? You want to fight? And he's like, yeah, sure, I choose you, Jesus.
Yeah, and you're like, does this even exist? Like, is it like Eldritch Horror rules where it's like no one can really comprehend what it looks like and their eyes burn out too?
Yeah, do you just kill your competitor because you just whip out fucking Pokey Jesus on him?
Reggie Jesus.
Reggie Jesus.
Reggie Jesus. He died for the rocks and the ice and fucking burn him at the stake or like put him on a cross. But yeah, no, Reggie Gigas just kind of matched with this like vibe I was going for this track. It's really weighty and like dramatic, and I was like, I want to write about like carrying like a lot of like emotional weight that's like unnecessary. Like, and then I was like, well, this dude literally tows continents. Like, what a fucking metaphor. Reggie Gigas, man. Like, so it's kind of like I imagine like a tug of war going on when I listen to that back. I was like, yeah, it's like, imagine like doing a tug of war with that motherfucker. He'd launch you into space. And it's like,
it's tough.
Reggie Yeetus.
God, we're gonna have an album of just Reggie names by the end of this episode.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready to do a Pokemon album. Pokemon concept album. Let's go.
The Pokemon rap.
Stay tuned.
But they're puns.
Pokemon Christmas battle.
Yeah, will you come on Ricky's Christmas album?
Oh my god. I gotta start that soon, actually.
I could totally do Ricky's Christmas album. That'd be funny.
That'd be great. I'll be honest, I'm 3 podcasts behind with editing, but I have a music video together for this December.
Oh my god.
Oh, is it the mall performance?
It is the mall performance.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. Years of waiting, we finally get to see it.
This was filmed last year. I just never got around to it.
I'm excited. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Give the people what they want.
Chris, I leak tracks to you all the time, bro. Your turn. Pay up. Like.
So I just had a couple questions.
Sure.
First, what is the story behind Mudgy? Is it just kind of like a little synopsis of your life, kinda?
Yeah, it's like it was a snapshot of where I was when I made it. You know, it was like Mudgy was a nickname that my folks gave me as a kid. You know, like it was just kind of like one of those like little like little nicknames like Little Mudgy. So it was like, you know, I was a little short fat kid. So I wanted to kind of like, you know, make a record, and I'm very proud of Mudgy for experimenting that much. There's some tracks that now looking back I'm like, they could have been better, but there's a lot of tracks that I'm stupid proud of that inspire me today. But it was kind of a like 10 tracks. I was going to experiment in whatever way I wanted and see where they take me, and it would all kind of link together as a snapshot of where I was when I made it. And like there was a lot that I was going through. I was kind of like dealing with finally graduating. Like I graduated early in December. I was dealing with getting over a girl that I had been in a relationship with for basically 4 years, on and off for 2, and then together long time for 2. And kind of, like it ended, like no cheating or nothing. She was a nice kid, but she did some fuck shit, and I was just like, nah, get out of here. Like, it was really sad. So I was dealing with, like, for the first time, like, I grew to be very self-confident, and that took a lot for me to do. And it was like my first time dealing with like feeling a little not so emotionally sound in a while. So I was like, but I've grown through pain before, and I'm going to grow through pain again. So the whole concept, even with the album cover, if you look, it's like me kind of like smiling, jumping up. This was done by an amazing artist who's a fan. I really pride myself on working with all the people who I get to know through the music. And Corinth Boone, she's amazing. She listened to all the tracks and was like, I have this great idea. And she made this picture of like me with my thumbs up smiling with like a black eye and like blood coming out my mouth. And I was like, that's so like subtle and cool. I'm like, yeah, you hear like me talking about my issues in a lot of these tracks, but like kind of talking about them in a really fun way. It's like, like there's tracks like Ankle Socks where it's literally like me talking about like, I have trust issues and abandonment issues now, but it's like, I'm having the time of my life. Like, I'm vibing through the whole thing. And it's like, that's kind of a good metaphor for how I was feeling and how I still kind of feel about that stuff. Cause I'm a firm believer in one of those like cheesy sayings, like, experience, good or bad, experience. It's something that you grow from. And there were tracks on there that like, I think could have been better, but for what they were in that moment, it was a growing period. So I'm really proud of them.
And I'm a huge fan of the album.
Thank you.
One of my favorite things, which is you tell a story throughout, and it like each track kind of leads into the next. So it's kind of like one long song.
Yeah, it's. I wanted it to be cohesive. So thank you.
Yeah. So that's something I really appreciate. That from a music standpoint, I just really fell in love with. What was your favorite track to do off of that album?
Favorite track to do? That's great. I think the one that was like the wildest, because like I've been a very mellow, kind of vibey artist for a minute. Like I've done like Cup of Noodles and like Caffeine, where it's like there's energy to it, but you're still kind of like like me in real life, just kind of like fucking boozing through it and having a good old time. I think Gank was the most fun, and you can hear that in the fact that I made Pop Team after it. Like, Gank is this, like, my first real experiment with, like, loud and abrasive and just, like, going gung-ho, balls to the wall, which is just not who I really am. Now, it is who I am to some degree. Like, when I get hyped up and I'm with my crew, it's like, I have the time of my life and I'm very bold. But, like, most of the time, I'm pretty mellow. So it was like, Gank was, like, this burst of energy that I was like, I want to come out this bitch swinging. Like, I wouldn't have wasted a Bowser sample him going Showtime on a track with low energy, man. Like I really liked working on Gank. Came up with that beat and I was like, this shit is so different from what I usually do, and I love it. And so Gank was the most fun to work on. I think my favorite track would probably be Ankle Socks or Caffeine, though. And I'm glad to see a lot of people like those too.
Sweet. And then my final question was, it's similar to Isaac's. What's the story of Cup of Noodles?
It's a great story that no one fucking asked about. I love that track too. Me and Jay. Jay's been, again, like a huge person, backing me up. He's one of my best friends my whole life. I was like, okay, it's finally time to work on more music after the Disappointing tape. I want to upload more stuff to Spotify, get that going. Frank was like, yo, you need to release some tracks. He had met me in April when he heard my tracks on a live stream. We made Over and Over then. Over and Over is also an amazing track that I'm stupid proud of. Because Frank is, like, again, a hero. So, like, me working with one of my heroes was just, like, such an amazing experience. And we got to hang out in LA. But back to Cup of Noodles. We were at Jay's house, and I was like, and Jay was even telling me, like, yo, just, like, try and do what you always do. Like, a lot of my music, we realized in that moment, is like based off of objects that I've interacted with in the mundane and me kind of describing what they mean to me. And it's like, so he was like, you don't have a lot of money right now. And that was very true. I was a sophomore in college with like no cash, and I couldn't always go out. New York is expensive as fuck. It's like $9 for a beer.
I took what they call cup of noodle thing out of the what's it called?
Yeah,
I was gonna eat dinner.
Yeah. He was making dinner, and it was Cup of Noodles, and we were talking about that, and I was like, started writing on a notepad what a cup of noodles, like what it feels like, which is really dumb and weird to say, but it made a lot of sense in that moment. And I was like, well, it's bouncy. It was like, it's wiggly like noodles. And I was like, it's warm, and I'm like, but it's kind of empty too. It's like salty and empty. There's like kind of this like not getting much nutrition out of a fucking cup of noodles. It's to fill your stomach. And because it tastes good, in my opinion. So I wrote it that night. I came up with the bass line, the whamp, 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 whamp. You know what I mean? It was like
yeah.
really wompy, wiggly bass line. I'm like, this is really fun. I was like, listening to a lot of vaporwave on Frank's recommendation, a lot of George Clanton, and I wanted like something like really stretched out, like stretchy and like kind of like warm and fuzzy. So I used a lot of these like weird pads that have this kind of like fuzz to them, and I started building the beat. And I was like, I'm gonna write a pop song about like being too broke to go out. And I was like, this is gonna be awesome. And it wound up being like really true. It's like, like there was a lot of times where I had a thin wallet, no class, and like, my dad's a good cook because he knows how to take like a bunch of scraps around the house and make them into something half decent. And it's so yeah, a cup of noodles is my cup of tea because I realized like I don't need a lot of like fancy schmancy shit or like going out all the time to be happy. There is like a downside to that where you can't always hang out with your friends when they want to go out to a bar in Brooklyn or like, go see a site or something. So, I talked about the pros and cons of that kind of lifestyle. That's the story. At the J again.
Well, that's pretty sweet. I mean, that was one of the first tracks that I heard from you, and I really liked the bass line that you were talking about. Because it was kind of bouncy, kind of twangy, warm sound.
So you'll be hearing a lot more of those on the stuff I'm working on. So I really like those kind of sounds that I was working with. Those are very authentic to like who I am, I think. Very kind of like out left field. There was actually a lot more noises in that song too. I remember this. Like I was loading it with like weird sound effects. It was almost like it had a hyper poppy thing going on to it, which I guess before the Gex, no one really knew existed. And there was like a lot of like weird cowbells and like every now and then I would just throw them in. And my audio engineer, Ara, because I can't mix for shit. That's why L Train is a mixing disaster that I'm going to re-record and re-release because I love that track. But Ara, who's like one of my close friends from college as well, and he was always a huge fan of like my music and like pushing me to do cool shit. He was like, yeah, no, that's too much. We need to pull that out. And I was like, what? I was like, 'cause it was the first time anybody had told me like in the moment, like a critique, like we need to remove this. And I was like, what do you mean we got to pull it out? Mm-hmm. Like, we need to pull it out. It's like too busy. He's like, there's like a cool vibiness to this that I think you're going to lose. And he goes like, and I was like, and he goes like, it distracts you from the lyrics. And I was like, point. Okay, fine. But yeah, the original instrumental of that is like way more chaotic too. But Ara is funny. He reminds me of Gonzo from the Muppets. He's awesome in the best way possible. I love that man. Shouts out to Ara Malikian as well. That's my boy. My baby, my little cinnamon apple.
Have you ever seen the original Muppet movie?
Yes, I fucking love that movie.
One of my favorite lines is when they pick up Gonzo. Fozzie turns to Kermit and says, "We picked up a weirdo."
Yeah, that's our. Yeah, it's funny, it's actually weird. The Empire State Building was invented for the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Makes
Everyone knows
sense.
that. We just tell everybody it's a lie, like it's the tallest building my ass. Bullshit. No, Muppets Take Manhattan. Great set piece for it.
Yeah, they needed something really grand for the movie.
Because people build taller buildings, but no one can say the Muppets were there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I say that all the time to fuck with people when like all my friends are like, oh my god, you got to turn me around the city, and I'm like, okay, fucking fine, like let's do it. And I would always just be like, look, that's the building from the Muppets Take Manhattan. And I'm like,
fun fact: the director didn't want to do it CG. He wanted a physical, so they just built the prop.
Made it styrofoam and latex. It blows away a lot. It's really weird.
Yeah, they did a practical, and occasionally it just kind of disappears into the ocean, and they just put a new one in its place.
That's why they didn't use live action actors for that remake, man. They had to keep the puppets on there. They were like, nope, we need this building. It's like,
yeah.
90% of the Muppet Take Manhattan budget actually went into the construction of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, actually, 90% of the people who can afford rent in New York were extras in the Muppets Take Manhattan.
I mean, it's cool that they let other movies use it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool of them to like lend that out. I think when Jim Henson died, he kind of like let the rights out to the public domain. It was pretty cool.
I mean, he's a good guy.
He was a good guy, man. Rainbow Connection and shit. Like you can't be a bad guy and write a song called Rainbow Connection. Right. He could probably be a really terrible guy. He probably has like kids global behind him.
Chris, I've got a question here.
Shoot your shit.
There's a little voice clip at the end of Hypersonic Crowbar of the Heart. Who is that?
Hypersonic Crowbar of the Heart. Who says
Is
that?
it the one with
He says
the one that leads
About the door.
yeah, when you one door closes, you kick the other one
door.
open.
It's crazy you guys like know that off your head. That blows my mind. That's my dad.
He got me into it.
How did you get him to do that?
My dad's always been really supportive of my music, and he's been really proud of me as a person. You know, he's the one that told me to go to NYU. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I guess my brain is a pretty valuable asset to some people. So I got like some offers from some Ivy League schools, and I always felt like I needed to live for other people. My older brother is, physically handicapped. I always felt like I owed it to my parents to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And, when all my offers came in and I found out I got a full tuition scholarship to NYU, which was like low-key my dream school, I was like, well, that sucks. I'm going to have to go to like Brown or something like that. And it's like, do what I need to do instead of do what I want to do. And my dad, old Guido, he sits me down with a guinea tea on, which is a wife beater for most people. They're guinea teas. Use that. Bad stereotype. And Lucky Charms pajamas. He sits me down with a bottle of scotch and he goes, Chris, you wanted to make music your whole life. You've been making music your whole life. I did choirs. I did, all that stuff. I played football too. I was like one of those kids, like trying to do everything. And he was like, why don't you do something for you? He goes, I know NYU's your top choice. I knew it from the day we visited. He goes, like, study music business so that you have something to fall back on, but make music in there, make good connections, and follow your heart. And so that was the moment where I really thought, like, wow, I can be who I am. And so my dad's always been stupid proud of what I do, which I'm very blessed and thankful to have behind me. So he wanted to do a voice line on there. I had all these voice lines laid out. My dad was like, could I have one? Like, really? And he didn't tell me what he put in there. He just sent it to me. And I was like, wow. So I got a little choked up. It's a pretty emotional moment for me.
That's cool.
I was very, I'm very lucky to have the folks that I have. I have a lot of good people in my life. Now I got y'all too. So, again, I'm very thankful to be here. And think about that a lot.
Yeah, speaking of that
moment.
baby moment. Chris, I'm sorry I greeted you with "fuck you." everyone had all this context of who you were, and I just kind of showed up and just assumed you were some
that's funny as shit. Are you kidding me?
So funny. I just assumed you were another like random college student that one of these guys knew. And now I'm like just super amped to listen to your music after this because I had no idea until I joined this call.
All good, dude.
That's normally how you greet everybody, but
nothing personal here. You got the full authentic Butch greeting here.
Butch, but, that was you for us.
Don't take shit from me. Come in and slap me in the face and then kiss me again. I don't know why I'm so.
That's gonna be an expensive visit, man. Just for a slap and a kiss.
Well, then you go out for pizza.
Oh, and then real pizza.
Yeah, no, I'm down to take off for pizza if you're ever out in New York. Please do.
I'll just casually.
Actually, you're kind of on brand. My live shows, I make people gas me up for pineapple soda by yelling "fuck you, SIBO." I have them chant it before I start the song. I like that. It gets the people going, man. It really does. Because they're like, yeah, fuck this kid. And I'm like, okay, I feel like shit again. I can sing the song. It's like...
Man, I hated being in this good mood.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm like, I gotta feel like shit to sing this song. So let's do it. Like,
so pretty much all your life has been out on the East Coast?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the first time going farther west than Pittsburgh was my Los Angeles trip a week before everything locked down at COVID. Shit was wild.
Yeah.
Filmed the ankle sock video out there. Yeah, that was a wild, fun time, man.
Did you shoot
weird as shit.
Sorry to cut you off. I was just wondering, did you shoot Cup of Noodles in New York?
Yeah, I shot that at my buddy Nick's place. He's a filmmaker. We were just bored one day, and Nick was like, "I want to shoot a music video someday." And I was like, "Want to do it now?" He's like, "We don't have a budget." And I was like, "I have a song for you." And I was like, we literally just shot it around his house with just his camera, his Steadicam. It was pretty cool. It's very bare bones, kind of like, like unprofessional professionalism or whatever we were saying before. That's kind of my vibe. It doesn't need to be ridiculously high budget or quality to have a good time. And I think that people are embracing that in media now. I mean, you look at a lot of like Brockhampton's early music videos or like the 100 Gex music videos. That shit's good. It's cool looking, but it's like dirt cheap. And it's like, that's fun. Like, doesn't need a lot of times. I think too with music, if we're getting into like the industry too with like music videos and shit, which I know I am completely taking the rudder here, but you know, it's like I think right now people value authenticity in music more than ever, man. You know, it's like this is the first generation where if Elvis was alive, you'd know what he does while he's taking a shit. It's like like he's tweeting about some shit, like his shit. And I think that people value that in the music now. So like, you know, like they value seeing a real person. That's why so many people cry like industry plant at fucking people they think are fake. Or like, you know, like I think that that's a cool thing about this moment in time. We're finally getting to know each other beyond like a manufactured product. And that's really valuable in art, I think. That's why musicians, I think, are so powerful as creatives and people of influence, you know, and that's for better or worse, of course. What was the fucking question? Shit.
Cup of noodles.
Yeah, Cup of Noodles. We filmed in New York. Yeah, we filmed that in New York. It was really fun. We were just fucking around. There's a lot of editing mistakes in there, but it was like, it was just an enjoyable thing to make. We literally uploaded it that night. I was like, I didn't tell anybody. I was just like, hey, Cup of Noodles music video out tomorrow. They're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, it just looked like it was a good time, and it just looked like I don't know how many dudes, but a couple of dudes just having fun with the camera and
yeah, it was me, Nick, and my buddy Will, who's going to be editing our music videos from here on in, actually. He's a filmmaker out in LA. Love that boy. So yeah, that's Cup of Noodles music video for you. We were just fucking around. I actually ate, there was a part that we edited out. I don't know if it's in there actually, is it? Like we ate the cup of noodles that I like filled with the flour pot and that, and it was fucking disgusting because there was like dirt at the bottom of that thing. And like, I think I literally threw up because we were a couple deep in some White Claws when we did that too. There ain't no laws when you're drinking Claws, so I definitely got a disease from that. Like,
speaking of editing, is there anything you want edited into this episode?
that we can have our editor do.
Yeah, Ricky.
4-hour feature-length film.
Oh, that'd be dope. It's like those B-movie memes. Every time I just take this shit off the rails, it just fades out, and you just hear a Vietnam War.
Every time Chris says the letter A, the episode restarts.
Entire series gets loaded, but every time they use a Y as a vowel sound, it goes back to the episode. And it's like some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you edit in like there's a great video of Bugs Bunny from Six Flags whipping a nene. Right here. Right here. I've never said this before. Yeah, put it right here.
Ricky, you're gonna be 3 episodes behind. You really want more work here?
Listen.
Yeah, Ricky, if you don't edit the episode that I was drinking to Gav with, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Is it Bugs Bunny kills murders the whip?
It might be that. It's fucking great. It's so bad. It's awesome. If you can't find that, if you could just like edit in like there's a great video called People Falling at Disneyland, and it's like all these like there's something about mascots that just makes me fucking laugh when they do something weird or wrong. And there's like one of Mike Wazowski, and he just eats shit. Just eats it. He's like walking out to great kids and he fucking eats it. Like he claps when he hits the ground. Like homie can't blink. His eyes busted. Like yeah.
Boy.
So, I'm watching it right now.
All right, we're
fucking
getting
hilarious.
The only thing of like the people falling at Disney, it's just the Miss Incredible one where she trips and her face falls off.
That shit's so wild. Like as a kid, that would fuck me up, bro. Like that's a moment where a man is made when Mrs. Incredible's face falls off, and you're just like, oh. Like
that is what a man is made, and then immediately broken.
Yeah, no,
you can't recover from that shit.
Watch a Chorotski cry underneath the mask, too.
What's weird? That's probably somebody's fetish, too.
People's faces falling off?
Thank God Gavin is
Yeah,
here.
gotta be, dude. That's the weird thing about the internet. There's a fetish for literally.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, good thing Gavin is here.
It's like there are somebody into that. They're like, oh yeah, make that face.
Dude, that was so hot when her face fell off.
Someone has that saved to computer on repeat.
It's just a
There's
live
a homework
background.
folder, and it's just a terabyte of that.
And it just labeled as homework.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said save to computer. I think I got part Neanderthal in me too.
Oh, sweet, dude. We're back. Dude, it all came full circle. What an epic moment. Dude, what a totally poggers moment.
Wow, we've got him saying poggers moment.
I just had to say that. It's just funny.
This is how it began, too. It's gone full circle. Look at that.
Chris, would he say we're all your little pog champ?
Fine, I guess you guys are my little pog champs. Come here. Come on. Bring it in. All right,
Adam,
that was a nice hug.
I forgot you guys are.
Yo. You stop touching my balls, bro. Come on.
I have never hugged a boom arm. I've never hugged a mic stand before.
What do you guys call me, a boomer?
No, I said boom arm. I just hugged my mic, like my microphone arm, and I'm like, what if someone just walked in and just saw me like hugging my microphone and my mount for it?
I think that you're in a really, really powerful audiovisual therapy session. Okay, like there's a way to explain everything.
Adam, you have not said a thing this episode.
He did. He asked a couple questions.
He said something. We'll just edit him out, though.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like so it's like we're not saying you. Oh, man, we're just warning you that you are not going to be saying anything. We're just gonna bleep any word that comes out of your mouth.
That wasn't a question. That was a statement. You have not
that was
said
a warning.
Anything.
Yes, I have for you.
Wait. Your question. We'll get Gavin to voice over your question, so it sounds like Gavin said it instead of you.
Well, actually, also
that's a crime.
Here, you could edit this in and just like put a picture of Adam if you want, unless that's too much editing work. But I could just be Adam and we could put something horrible in his mouth. That'd be really funny.
What?
Hey guys, it's me, Adam. I'm Adam from this wacky, hilarious podcast. And oh, holy fucking shit, I want to bang the Animal Crossing dog so goddamn bad. I can't stand it anymore.
Oh.
Every time I go to the town hall, I get a massive erection. I've seen literally every Rule 34 post there is of her online. Me, Adam, my dreams are nothing but constant fucking sex with Isabel. I'm sick of waking up every morning with 6 nuts in my boxers and knowing that those nuts should have been busted inside of Isabel's tight dog behind. I want her to have my mutant human dog babies.
Adam, when did I ask?
Adam, say that. That's his thing.
That's
Gavin isn't here.
Word for word in the past.
He actually was the one who originally wrote that post.
His big nose can smell the fetish from a mile away.
Singer guy dog.
If you need one for another episode, hi, it's me, Adam. Holy fucking shit! I want to bang the Minecraft creeper so goddamn bad.
So that's on character, actually.
I'm when I allied with a nation. So we had a Minecraft PvP server, faction server, and I allied with a nation who had Minecraft sheep sex slaves. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, just don't question it.
Yeah, cultural difference, beautiful thing.
You gotta love the Midwest.
Yeah, we like Pizza Ranch here.
Hey,
country girls make do.
Country girls make do.
Which don't slander the king.
How does it work with a girl? Oh God.
All right, I have one final question, and then we're running out of time. But what's your go-to pizza spot in New York? Because if it's not Joe's, I'm gonna be upset.
Joe's is dope. I love Joe's. Another great one is Scars, down on the Lower East Side. That is amazing. Overpriced, but amazing. But my favorite, as a broke boy, was a little spot next to Joe's on Union Square called Little Italy Pizza 3. There is not a single Italian in that joint.
3? What happened to the other 2?
They're somewhere. Legend has it, my friend found Little Italy Pizza 1. He found the source. And
the source.
It is not the greatest pizza you're going to have. It's not the worst, which means it's a good gauge of like how the average pizza in New York tastes. The great one out in there's a great one out in Brooklyn too called Sally's, I think, or something like that. They literally only deliver 100 pies a day. So like there's a line out the door to get into it. We got in one time when there was a massive snowstorm and no one was going out. And the food is amazing. It might be Victoria's. I'm gonna have to look that up for you. But Little Italy Pizza 3 has this deal right by my sophomore dorm on Union Square, where it is 2 plain slices and a drink for $3. Shit, gas.
Plain as in cheese or plain as in pepperoni?
Mine isn't cheese. You can get pepperoni, I think, for 50 cents.
Cheese
actually. It's
pizza
not
in New York is way different than cheese pizza here.
That's true.
That is
That is
I was just wondering.
I've had South Carolina pizza before, and that's some demon spawn right there. Like, I think I put that in my body.
To be hearing about this.
Yeah, the council will decide my fate, but that's all fucking good. They've tried. They can try and stop me, but I won't. I won't stop spreading the truth, bro. It's like, but yeah,
Jesus.
no, Little Italy Pizza 3, man. They got the semolina on the back. They do a good job. It's got good crust. It's like, if you want to have it with like, you know, like the kind of like Midwest ways or like or West Coast ways with like ranch or like hot sauce,
That's
you can do that. I've
disgusting.
tried.
That's
Yeah, I do it
disgusting.
with the crust though. I do it with the crust with the ranch now. My friends from LA taught me, and like the Bay Area taught me how to do that. And I was like, okay, it's weird,
Taught
but
you how to have crust with ranch.
It's the California ketchup. That's what they. That's what
it is,
called.
and that's so gross. How are they all so attractive when they eat ranch? Dude, no, like, you know how like some people are like, yeah, there's a New York 9 is like an LA 5 or some shit like that, because it's like, but bro, it's true. Every girl there,
They gotta
is
look
beautiful.
good.
They're baddies. The guys
Yeah,
are.
you live on the
bad.
beach.
Yeah, and I'm over here like, y'all motherfuckers eat ranch. It's like, dude, I eat a carb and I'm gonna explode. It's like, I look like garbage. It's like, I have
think
this
part of it
accent.
is
It's all that sun, man. They're like part Superman.
Yeah, we're all like demon creatures huddled together, going in the underground like trains. Like,
Fuck cavemen.
and no one's from LA, so any beautiful person that you see in LA has come from somewhere else in the US, and
that's a beautiful thing to think about.
so
They're all hiding.
there's beauty anywhere in the world.
If you
It
go,
just happens
if
to
you,
find its way to LA.
yeah, if you go to LA, then you automatically become more beautiful.
Yeah, the
Sweet, I
longer
went
you
from, like,
stay, the more
college
attractive
to
you
a decent
become.
7. I'm fine with being a decent 7, bro. I'm cool with it. You know, like,
Hey,
you
the
can
East
kinda-
Coast
you
has
can kinda-
better girls than the Midwest. That's all I gotta say.
I do love my East Coast ladies. They are wonderful people.
We have
yeah,
farmers.
Chris, you come to
Don't
you
diss my
come to the
country
Midwest,
girls.
you're a 10.
Exactly.
It just depends on where you are. The number scale means nothing. It just depends on where you are.
We don't have numbers. It's just how willing are you to look at the person.
We don't have numbers. How well do you bale hay?
Oh, that's cool. That sounds like fun. Actually, there's a lot of farms out by me. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, this part of New Jersey is not like suburbs, really. It's like there are literally farms within 2 minutes of my house. Like, we are an extension of eastern Pennsylvania. Out in Sussex
I was
County.
about to ask where are you from in New Jersey?
Yeah, why don't you dox your location
Yeah.
real quick?
Yeah, can you just?
Oh, sweet, dude. There is nothing to dox but dox itself. Let's fucking go. What's it called? Yeah, no, I live up in the north side of New Jersey, Sussex County.
Yeah.
That's as close as I'm letting you guys go, because once you get here, you'll never fucking find me. It's like,
Well, how am I supposed to get pizza? And how am I supposed to slap and kiss you, and then get pizza if I can't find you?
sometimes you'll hear me on a babbling brook or the breeze over a New Jersey overpass on I-80 East. You'll hear me in the screeching of a loud Italian man speaking
Can't
way
I
too
just
loud.
find the lime green beets?
Well, those don't exist anymore. They got absolutely fucking yeeted on one time when I dropped them on the street. But that's what I used to mix all my shit on. Which, yeah, it sounded like garbage, but there's something missing there. There's a little bit of heart. But yeah, no, you know how you can find me? Since we're nearing the end, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Bo Twizzle. That is BOTWIZZZLE. Bo Twizzle.
I'll throw it on screen.
You could be you have the voice of an infomercial guy. You could do those.
Yeah.
If the music career ever.
Not saying that your music career is gonna fail, but
you know,
dry sketchy.
I call it today.
Dry sketchy ass.
I don't know when this will be out by because I've got a lot to work on.
Probably February of 2021.
No, I'll get it done, but I'm just gonna put this out
Cyberpunk's
there.
gonna come out before this fucking video, dude.
If it's in time, my music video, look out for that. All 10 viewers.
You're not allowed, Ricky. You're not allowed to plug stuff. You're just here to edit.
No, I get
go back
to
to
do
your
whatever I
editing
want.
dungeon.
Diego actually followed my advice. I fucking love you, man. That's awesome. I just got a follow request. Boom. You get a follow back. Wow.
Oh, I have nothing on my Instagram.
That's okay.
My Instagram isn't done yet. It still has the tutorial telling me how to set up the account. I have 4 or 5 steps.
5 more people follow me. I'll finally be at 1,500.
Diego, you better post to the Instagram.
I will.
Yeah, and
It's not every day we get a
Celebrity. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Chris, for coming on to our podcast. It's been an actual good episode for once.
Woo! We're going
It was coherent and it flowed.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming on. Maybe.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Maybe whenever I'm in New York next, I'll try that pizza place.
Yeah, when I just happen to be in the New York area.
I'll be there. I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah,
watching you with some
watching you.
I'll listen to Pineapple Soda when I'm eating the pizza.
But then you'll literally be living my life as a freshman. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Is that how I summon you?
Good time. What?
Is that how I summon you? I just get some obnoxious headphones, pizza, and just play the song. Yeah.
You gotta wear like a Hawaiian shirt or something funky because that's kind of my vibe. Yeah, if you do that, like I actually possess your body. That's how I maintain my youth.
All right. And with that, thanks, Chris, for coming on. Thanks for listening to whoever's actually listening. Make sure you check out Chris on Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Please do.
And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
What's in a name? What is my game? What is my aim? Yeah, my name is Mudgy. Bye. I'm Chris.